Welcome to the King's Court. Welcome back to our next deck on for the channel, and this is going to be on my personal deck, my Guillemon deck, or Gallentmon or Dukemon. Now, I do enjoy Digimon, but I don't have a lot of decks for the game. Primarily, that's how I've always been in like every card game I play. I like to, I guess you could say, being expert on certain decks that I like to play. So this is the same here for as you already saw, like I saw that our Black War Greymon deck is honestly really starting to boom. So to everyone who's seen that video already, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And to those who haven't seen it, if you want to, go ahead and check it out. It's it's a little rough, but it's honestly I think it's still the current build I'm using. I'm going to be updating when BT10 comes out. I'm going to update it, and when after I do that, and after I play messes at our locals OTS at not OTS at our Bandai Tcg tournaments at our locals, I'll come back here and we'll go from there. Also, look forward in the upcoming weeks or day this upcoming week or next week for a discussion between me, Michael, and hopefully a couple of other members of the channel on what we are going to believe or what we believe are going to be the best decks for BT10, as well as what we're going to be playing for the upcoming format, and as well overall our thoughts on the current decks being played currently. So look forward to that if you enjoy what you see here. Now, in regards to that, I love Guillemon. Digimon Tamers, hands down, has got to be my favorite of the animes of all the anime. Well, Ghost Game is really good, but Tamer is always going to be special to me, and I love Guillemon. Agumon is the top boy, but Guillemon is definitely up there, along with Dracomon. But so, by the way, when the X3 comes out, get ready for that Examon deck because that's going to be here as soon as I get it all. So I've been experimenting with Guillemon when I'm not playing Black or Greymon, and honestly, I'm really liking this, and I like this build. Cannot wait for the new cards to come out in EX3, the new purple red cards. But for right now, this is the build I'm messing with and tinkering with, and this is honestly the build right now I'm enjoying the most. So here it is. So all right, start off obviously for Digimon. Now, not much to say. This is just like the draw one Goromon. Draw you have Growlmon or Gallentmon, anything like that. Draw a card. Easy done. I'm definitely though going to get the alternate art. That's another thing we're probably going to start bringing to the channel. The decks we enjoy to play the most, like the ones we really truly enjoy, I guess the ones we love the most. We like to, I guess you say, we have a little contest between members of the channel, especially me and Michael. We like to bump up the rarities to maximum. If you saw my Black War Greymon deck, you saw that I have the alternate arts for Black War Greymon, and I have one for Gaiomon, and that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing for this deck too. So I need to get the alternate arts for this card as soon as I can. Not plus it's honestly adorable. I think Digimon is, in my personal opinion, is got to be one of the cutest rookies there is, or not rookies, but cutest Digitamas there is. I love it. It's adorable. All right, next. This honestly, I think one of the reasons I like the way this deck plays is because kind of remind some of the cards. A lot of it are a lot like the Agumon cards I play. So for on play search Guillemon, this card's honestly just great for. Personally, I like to run the on play cards at 4 usually, just because I like the being able just to search and also thin my deck. That way I can get what I need and I don't have to worry about drawing stuff I don't. That's just how I've always been. So this card at 4 maximum. Plus, not only that, the inheritable is pretty great too. So, 4 of those. Next, 4 of starter deck. Guillemon. Well, starter deck Guillemon is in the warp one. If your opponent's got a level 6 or higher Digimon and you don't, just warp into Gallimon. Warp Digi Evolution, just like Digimon Tamers. Love it. This is honestly the card you want to digivolve your Digimon into. Like this is honestly probably the best starter to have at the beginning of the game. At this and the on play search. So honestly, this is like those are like the two you want to see the most. And obviously, for X antibody on play, pop anything for 4,000 or less. So I guess it makes sense it has a higher play cost than the other two. And honestly, like I said, the way this deck works with popping, that inheritable makes it even better. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always found this a little weird. This is the artwork for the X antibody for Gallentmon. I don't know. I guess I'm too used to most X antibody forms being like a lot bigger, buffer sort of thing. This is a lot more sleeker. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool though. All right, so for the rookies, that's 12 rookies. Now next to the champs. Now the champs are like honestly interchangeable. Like some I might switch out eventually, but this is just the build I'm playing with right now. So two of the EX2 Groundmon. It's not bad. It puts in work. It's okay. It's decent. It's not like the best, but it does the job. Now, the real good one. Started at Groundmon. This card's great. Get extra memory. Who doesn't in this game? Who doesn't love getting extra memory? Love this card honestly. I love the artwork too. This is fierce. Next, just like the rookies, gotta play the X antibody. This lineup is definitely gonna change up when EX3 comes out with the new purple red Groundmon, as well as the new War Groundmon that lets you basically play Takato for free or a Guillemon for free. This deck is I don't want to say like a huge haul, but there's going to be a plethora of different cards being played, and when those come out, I'm definitely going to come back with an update. But for right now, this is definitely the best, at least what I've been messing around with, the best champions to play. Yeah. So now, next to the ultimates. The EX2 War Groundmon, 4 of. It's okay. Here's the thing. I feel like this, as well as the starter deck War Groundmon, they're decent, but they're kind of mediocre in comparison to the new purple red. So, but for right now, I'm enjoying this one. It does the job. It's also a necessary piece if you want to climb up to your Gallentmon. So it's a necessary evil, but I honestly am just really that excited for the new one. But it's still good. It does the job. But if you want to play the other one, that's up to you. It's your choice. Like I said, the other deck profiles, these are just what we play in our decks. If you want to, and this is what we take to our locals to play, and what we plan on playing at any regionals that comes in our area. Like the name of the channel says, we're in the Golden State, so whatever one we can make it to, if we have the time, we're gonna go. We'll record our progress, come back to here, and that's what we'll keep doing. All right, next, War Groundmon X. Oh shoot, still getting used to this new tripod. The War Groundmon X antibody, nothing much to say. Play if you got the ground, choose to your opponent's Digimon. If you got your Groundmon under War Groundmon under it, pop them easy. And thanks to the inheritables of the X antibody and the like I said EX2 Groundmon, you increase that level. Honestly, there are a lot of things AK you can pop that are AK or below that you can pop with this card. So honestly, I love it. I might change the lineup to 3 maybe, possibly. I like it at this one. Now this is a difficult one. I'm really working on. The starter deck Gallentmon or Dukemon, if you prefer. For the record, if you prefer Gallentmon, Dukemon, I'm too used to Gallentmon, but I don't know. I think I kind of like the way Dukemon sounds. Maybe because I'm too used to saying Gaiomon all the time, so I accidentally keep saying Gaiomon when I'm talking about this deck. That's just a me thing. But this card I'm a little unsure of. Only because I'm not sure if I want to keep playing this one or I might start experimenting with the older Gallentmon from was it BT2? I don't know the older on play Pop 4000 DP or less. I might consider trying that, especially with Beelzemon, the new Beelzemon cards that are coming out. So be in our at our locals Beelzemon, there's one of our locals owners there or shopkeepers has like the most beautiful, gorgeous, rarityed out Beelzemon deck. And so he's pretty much, I guess you could say, like the Beelzemon guy at our locals. And so he obviously because of him and because him and other people there who do play who are Beelzemon fans, as well as the obvious Three Musketeer decks. I might have to start playing that because if you don't know, that get the old Gallentmon does an extra security that lets you remove security from the top of your opponent's security for every 10 cards trashed, and those decks love trashing their own cards, so that might be a necessary thing to start doing to start playing. I mean, so I'm not sure yet. I might experiment with it. Maybe even have. I might be even if you have be a future discussion because other members of the channel do also play this deck too. So that might be a future discussion we have. We'll see what comes up. But for right now, the three started at Gallantmon, Dukemons, pretty good. I like it. It's not bad. But the honestly, the X antibody version, I mean, is even better. This card is phenomenal. Honestly, I really nearly need to start getting the alternate arts for this deck because they have some of those gorgeous cards. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like maybe this is me, but I feel like red has like some of the best alternate cards. The red cards have like some of the best alternate arts. That could I could just be me biased because I play this and Gallentmon, so I'm probably just being biased. But honestly, I just love the way they just like the frame of the red works with the art of the card, like the way it frames in, especially with the gold lining. I just love it. Now, this deck isn't complete. I'm missing two cards. Now I'm gonna be getting soon. But for right now, I'm teching in to a Goonimon. If it wasn't obvious, this card is supposed to be Crimson mode, but I think it's like $30 a pop, and I got some other stuff to be taken care of soon. But as soon as I can, I have them. I'm switching these out right away from them. But a Goonimon's okay. You play like seven or six, seven different red tamers in this deck. We'll get to those soon. So honestly, a Goonimon is an okay card for a finisher. It's decent. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. It's okay, honestly. Speaking of the tamers, all right, we're we're playing for Takado. Now, a lot of decks these days rely on their tamers, like Alphamon. Obviously, you saw Michael's deck. If you haven't, go see it. Rely on this card. Like a lot of decks rely on Cool Boy these days, and if you've looked at BT10 in Japan, Cross Heart, they love that's all their tamers are their that's pretty much the key for their deck. That is their bread and butter. That is their main thing. So this deck is a lot like that. It really does need Takato, and not necessarily just for the Akudimon plays, but also just for the blitz to gain you more memory. This card is so important. So it's honestly necessary for of, my opinion. I'm teching in two heroes and two cool boys. Now, the cool boys, obvious. You saw the X Antibody, Guillemon, Groundmon, War Groundmon, Gallantmon, all of them. This card is. I feel like in a lot of X Antibody decks, you should at least play two cool boys. Minimum, cool, two. And the heroes, a problem that this deck I've noticing has been having is getting high numbers. Like against a deck like Alphamon, or even in like if I was playing someone else who was playing Gaiamon or Where Garurumon, like our boy Alfonso, remember the channel plays. Jesus Christ, this deck does have a problem getting those high numbers. So I feel like the two heroes are kind of a must for this deck just to be able to break even, personally. That's just my opinion. All right, last two. Two Crimson Blaze. Now, I personally feel like this card is going to be so much more important for the next upcoming BT10 format because if you didn't know, Crossheart is going to, if you haven't looked at the deck in Japan, it's not going to, I personally don't think it's going to be as devastating as it is over there. If it, as, tongue tied. I don't think it's going to be as devastating here as it is over there because, in case you didn't know, they have a best of one format, more playstyle, so it means you get one game. That's it. That determines the winner. We here in the state, in the West, we do best 2 out of 3, which honestly I prefer it. In every game I've ever played, it's usually best 2 out of 3. So that's just the way I prefer it as well. So, but that doesn't take away from how strong and how fast the deck is. So I feel like Crimson Blaze for people who play red decks is going to be very important because it wipes out everything and they can't play anything by effect, and that's how cross art works. So I feel like this card is going to be necessary for red at 2 minimum for red decks in the future, which is what I'm probably also going to be doing for my Black War Greymon deck. I'm going to probably start taking this in there, and we'll see what happens because already people at our locals are already planning on building cross art. So I'm gonna test with them, discuss with them, see what I can come up with. And 2x antibody. Oh shoot. Not much to say. Sex antibody. And this pretty much goes without saying though, that's X antibody. What else can I say? But it's not as necessary as in other decks, but this card I feel like 2 of is like the right number for X antibody decks, in my opinion. 2 this, 2 cool boy. I think you're good. You can run more if you want, but this is the ratio I'm liking. And that's really the whole deck right there. Like I said, this deck is. Uh, I don't want to say a casual deck or a. It's definitely a fun deck, but unfortunately, I feel like it's not up there. Like if you ask me right now, and I've discussed this with the members of the channel and people on my locals, the top 3 decks right now, the BT9 format that we're in, is definitely Alphamon, Weregarurumon, and Gaiomon, personally. And I'm not being biased, although I personally think Gaiomon could be both. That's just me. Um, there's obviously Grand Quaglesmon and all those. And there's also the Three Musketeers deck, but let's be real, that deck is carried by Dexamon. Let's be honest here. And Dexamon itself is just a monster of a card. So personally, this deck isn't like a top tier competitive deck, but it is one of the funnest decks, and I also feel like it's one of the best like beginner decks. Like if like you have a friend who's just getting into the game. Like there are people who show up to our locals all the time who are new to the game, and honestly, I feel like this is the perfect deck to start off with to learn the game. It's not too complicated, it's not super fast, but it's not super slow either, so you can get the feel for the game pretty quickly within a couple of matches. I love this deck so much. This, him, like Dukemon is definitely top 5 favorite Digimon of all time for me. I love this so much. Like number one is obviously Black War Greymon, but I love this deck. So if you really want a fun like not casual, but this is a really fun deck to mess around with, this is the deck for you. And that's pretty much it on this. So like I said, this is probably the build I'm gonna be sticking with until I get the Crimson modes. I'm gonna definitely switch out the Goonimons for those, and I'm gonna stick with this build. Probably tinker it maybe a little bit, but until BT10, until not no, I mean EX3 comes out, Dragon's Roar set with all the new Dragon cards. There's not much else because I feel like this deck is plateaued for the at where it's at. Like you can add red memory boost if you want or stuff, other generic red cards like tie or stuff like that. But I feel like this is the best the deck can be for now until EX3. but it's still an amazing deck and it's like one of the funnest decks I've ever played. So thank you for watching this, and if you enjoyed this, get ready for more decks. We're working on recording for our gameplay at our locals, so we start bringing games to the channel, and we're going to have discussions soon. This either this week or next week. Definitely this week we'll have discussions of what we're going to be playing for the upcoming formats for the BT10 format, and what we predict are going to be the new top decks, and what we think of the current format of how we thought of it, and what were the obviously the top decks. So if you enjoy any of this, you enjoy just us talking, or just want to have a good time, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.